Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first subtopic from chapter 5, which is you have the basic trigonometric function. Okay, the first thing that you have to recall is about the quadrant. You have the first quadrant, second, third and the fourth quadrant, whereby the first quadrant is the angle from 0 degree up until 90 degree. So this is from 0 up until 90 degree. Second quadrant is from 90 degree up until 180. The third quadrant 180 up until 270, and the last quadrant is from 270 up until 360 degree. Remember, one complete circle here is total up to 360 degree. Okay, the second one is about the positive value trigo function, whereby in the first quadrant all the function will be positive, where the sine is positive, tangent is positive, the cos also positive. The second quadrant here, only sine function is positive, the rest is negative. The third quadrant, only tangent is positive, the last quadrant, only cos function is positive. So how to remember this one? One of the acronym is you have ASTC, which is add sugar to coffee. Add is for all, sugar is for the sine function, 2 is for the tangent function, coffee is for the cos function. Okay, so this is how can you remember. So it depends on what your teacher taught you before. Okay, number 3 is about the reciprocal trigo function, where you have the cosecant. Cosecant is what? 1 over sine. So this is the CSC is stand for the cosecant theta, 1 over sine. SEC is the secant theta, which is 1 over cos. COT, cot theta, is actually cotangent, where cotangent is 1 over tangent theta. So this is the formula that you have to know about the reciprocal trigo function. And then always note that tangent theta is equivalent to sine over cos, and the cot theta, cotangent theta, is cos over by sine theta. Okay, the next one is about the trigo function, where you have this triangle we call as right angle triangle. Why? Because one of the angle is 90 degree. So the side here we call as the adjacent, this one we call as the opposite, and the longest side here we call as the hypotenuse. Let's say this is your theta. So to find the sine theta, how can you have the sine theta value? Opposite over by hypotenuse. Opposite over by hypotenuse. Cos theta, how can you find the cos theta value? Adjacent over by hypotenuse. Tangent theta is opposite over by adjacent side. Okay, and then what happened to cosecant? You know that cosecant is 1 over sine. So just switch this one. 1 over opposite over hypotenuse. So you will switch your numerator and denominator. So this one will be H over O. Secant is 1 over cos. So H over A. And then cotangent is 1 over tangent, which is you have A over opposite. Okay, the next one is Pythagorean Theorem, where you have the same right angle triangle. So your formula will be A squared, which is the adjacent squared, plus B squared, which is your opposite squared, is equivalent to C squared, which is your hypotenuse squared. Okay, so this is the basic formula, comes from the right angle triangle. Okay, let's say you have the missing side length. For example, M here is unknown. You have only 1 and 2, the adjacent and also the opposite side. So how to find M? Just use this formula. 1 square plus 2 squared is equivalent to hypotenuse squared, which is M squared. So M squared, you know, is equivalent to 5. So M is plus minus square root of 5. And then this is the length. So we choose only the positive answer. So M is equivalent to square root of 5. Number 2, let's say Y is unknown, the opposite side. Adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 4. So you have the same formula, y squared plus 3 squared is equivalent to 4 squared. So rearrange this one, y squared is equivalent to 7. How to find 7? 4 squared 16 minus 3 squared is 9. So y is equivalent to plus minus square root of 7. And then we choose only the positive sign because this is the length. So the length is always positive. Okay, so this is the example that use this formula from the Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, the next one is the angles. Okay, how about the angles? How can you locate the angles? This side we call as the initial side, which is your x-axis here. So this is the initial sides. And then your angle is always starting from the initial side. So let's say this is your angle, the green color here. And then the end point of the angle we call as the terminal side. So the end point of the angle we call as the terminal side. And then let's say you have the point here on the terminal side. So this one we call as the terminal point. So the point on the terminal side we call as the terminal point. So angle always start from the initial side and going anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so positive angle is always anti-clockwise direction. Okay, let's have this one, types of angle, where you have positive and negative. Positive is always anti-clockwise, remember? From the initial side to the terminal side. Let's say your angle here is 45 degree. Okay, if you have negative angle, the angle will going clockwise direction. So the angle will going downside area, where you have here is negative 45 degree. Okay, so you know that this one is also the types of angle where if the question mention acute angle, that is referring to the angle from 0 up until 90 degree. If the angle is obtuse angle, this is from 90 up until 180. And then the right angle is always 90 degree. So this is the basic term that you have to know in trigo function. Alright, the next one is about the measurement. How can you measure the angle? We have 2 units, which is degree and also radian. So the conversion is, when you want to convert from degree to radian, always multiply with pi over by 180 degree. When you want to convert from radian to degree, always multiply with the 180 degree over by pi. For example, let's say you have 45 degree. So how to write this one in radian? 45 times pi over 180. So you have pi over 4. Simplify this one, you have pi over 4. So this is the unit of angle in radian. This is the unit of angle in degree. The same thing. And then if you have, let's say, 120 degree, how to write this one in radian? Multiply with pi over 180. So this one is equal to 2 over 3 pi radian. For example, the next example is from radian. How can you convert this one into degree? Just multiply with 180 degree over by pi. So you will cancel this one. 180 divided by 3 is 60 degree. So this is the same thing. Pi over 3 radian is always equivalent to 60 degree. The last one, 7 pi over 4. How can you have the unit in degree? Just multiply with 180 over by pi. So your answer will be 315 degree. Okay, so you have to know the formula of the conversion here. Okay, the last one is about the basic angles used in trigo function. So this is the basic one. So 30 degree is pi over 6 in radian. 45 degree is pi over 4. 60 degree is pi over 3. And 90 degree is pi over 2. So this is the basic one. So if possible, you have to remember this one. If the question give you pi over 6, so understood that is 30 degree. If pi over 3, that one is 60 degree. So you have to remember the basic angle that always used in trigo questions. Okay, that's all for the first subtopic. Thank you.